All right. So, hello everyone. Very good evening to all of you. And today we are working with all of you on the math class. And today's first topic is multiplication chart, right? So, we know about the world of numbers. We have learned about patterns, shapes, problem solving using different Montessori materials, the way of thinking, the way of exploring, the way that children are understanding these conceptuals is very, very simple using the Montessori materials, right? Whether children are learning to count or measure or analyze, Montessori materials give you the endless possibilities to discover for them. So, what as teachers that we would be working over here is like, as the moment of time that you have it, you need to know what is that you're going to be teaching your class. Have a clear perspective. You have to know the purpose of why we are doing this material. And you should also know about preparing your environment in the rightful way. This is your first step. The second thing, what you need to do is like you will have to prepare or construct the Montessori materials in a very constructive order. So choose materials from your cabinet trays. Make sure all the materials have been kept very well. And also make sure that the material is complete. We don't want any pieces which is not being available at that time. So before you will introduce these materials to your children, so you have to know, you have to keep everything in a proper way. So this is how you would begin your classes. And we know the process, right? You will invite children in smaller groups. You will ask them to sit down and then you would introduce your math concepts. And when you're introducing this, what happens? Every time there is a lot of movement in your class, the teacher is also telling where the material is kept. So child would get up, the child would move. So there is a movement. So when they're moving, what happens? They're also exploring and they also engage in identifying where that material is kept. And the children would also follow a pattern of how the teacher is holding that material, how the teacher is carrying the material, right? So all those are nothing but opportunities that you as a teacher would give it to the child. And the child will just copy you. So this is what it's going to be there. So what we do in the math classes or the math Montessori areas is you're going to arrange all the arithmetic materials, or it could be geometry materials, algebraic materials in an order. Once you keep everything in order, you group them. Like say, suppose in case if I'm working on arithmetic, the exercises of arithmetic has to be grouped. Now say, suppose if I'm doing multiplication, it comes in my arithmetic, correct? It comes under my operations. So what all I have to group? I have to group my golden beads, my stamp game, my addition strip board, subtraction strip board, charts, everything will have to be logically grouped. So what happens here is like, since there are multiple students in your classes, and if the teacher is introducing one concept of multiplication, the children can have that independence to pick any of these materials. They can perform multiplication using golden beads. They can do it with stamp game. They can use multiplication board or a chart. Correct? So what happens there was like, since it was some kind of a sequential grouping, but children are also working parallelly. This is something that we'll have to focus. Correct? Now, once we have all of these, we start working on the process of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So when you're using multiplication, you would also be teaching the children the memorization of arithmetic tables. That is also important because this counting beyond 10 exercises becomes very, very easy for children to actually understand and work on the operations. So in today's class, what we would do is we would explore a little bit more on the Montessori charts. And specifically, we are working on the multiplication chart. Now, what the child is going to do, just give me a moment. So what the child is going to do here is like, when I introduce my board is the first material I would have already introduced. Now I bring the multiplication chart. Now, is this an essential tool for me? Yes, no? It is very, very essential for me. Why? Children are looking. So children can visualize and they can understand the multiplication concepts. Now, is this a developmental stage? Definitely yes. Now, what do we do over here? How do I describe this multiplication chart? Now, if we see, there are multiple things. One is a complete chart which goes from multiplication table of 1 till the multiplication table of 10. Then you will find a chart wherein you will have half of the portion is missing. Then you would have your blind chart 3, you will have your chart 4, you will have your chart 5. Just like how we had it in our addition charts, correct? So these are the 5 important charts that you should have it. Okay. Now, once you have all those materials, now you're going to see how each of those multiplication charts are serving a unique purpose. Very simple it is. First, we are going to work with chart 3. We also call this as a control chart. Now, in control chart, what happens? The answers are directly given and it has been printed there. So what happens here? It is used as a reference tool for the child. Now, what the teacher will have to do? The teacher will have to only give them the problem, like 5 into 4 is how much? So you will take your right index finger, place it on the number 5, that's on the blue header. The number 4, your second multiplicand, you're going to put it on your red color. Get the fingers together. Let's see where it's going to intersect. So it's intersecting at 20. So your answer is going to be 20. So 5 4 times is 20. Okay, sorry, this is 4 5 times. I'm so sorry. 4 5 times is 20. Okay, so when you do your 5 4 times, what happens? The number 5 has to be on the first index finger on the red color. The number 4 has to be on the blue color. So when we dot it down, it's going to be 5 4 times. It's reverse. What is displayed here is 4 5 times. If you come down here, it is 4 1 time, 4 2 times, 4 3 times, 4 4 times. Okay, and 4 5 times is 20. Clear, everyone? This is your first chart. What is the name of this chart? Multiplication control chart 3. How do you define this? This chart is going to display all the multiplication facts. So when you give this chart to the child, what happens? The child is able to see the answers directly. So that's the reason we also call it as a reference chart or a reference tool. This is the first thing that we give. Now here, the child is actually feeling the sense of pattern and the sequence in multiplication. After this is what? You give them how to move their fingers. So you will show them how to place their fingers and how to find or calculate the exact answer. So all of you know by this. Now what you need to identify, if they have not given you the chart, you have to make a chart all by yourself. Starting from numbers 1 to 10 on a row, down 1 to 10. And then do the color coding exactly. Moving to the next one is my multiplication chart 4. Now this is the second one. Okay. So here is where I would not have a complete blank chart here, but I would have half of the chart so that, it helps my child to remember the memory. Now, if at all, if I want them to further know what is the next thing, the child should be able to figure it out. So this is my chart 4. In my chart 5, I'll give a complete blank one. Now, along with this blank chart, I would also have some numbers. Why? Because if I say 5 into 5, 25, the child should have a number ranging from what to what? Ranging from number 1 to 100. The child should have been given those small numbers of 1 to 100. So I will take up the respective slide, tile, and I would be putting it onto it. So this is a chart wherein we are going to reinforce the memory of the child and see whether the child is able to perform multiplication independently. So by now, they would have learned skip counts. They would have learned about multiplication. They would know how to write the answers. They would know which tile to actually pick up and place it in the respective things. So all these are our charts that we have to give. Teachers can do it sequentially also. You can do multiplication table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10 and make sure this can be done. Now, if you ask me a question, what age can I do this? You can start teaching this right from the age of 5 years. Okay, so from 5 years onwards, you can always do that. So what's the purpose? Why do we do this multiplication chart? So that the child knows what is the answer and they would quickly go back and have a reference. So it allows them to check their answers and they become very aware of the multiplication patterns. Okay, so this is what is there. So what is your chart names? Can you tell me? The chart 3 is your reference chart. Chart 4 will have a blank chart with a control card and chart 5 will have completely a blank one. Correct? So this is all about your multiplication charts. It's a foundational tool material that I can actually give. Do I have benefits of using multiplication charts? Do I have benefits? They're independent, no? They don't have to ask, ma'am, is my answer right? Is my answer wrong? They will go back to the chart. So what chart they will go back? If you see in the first slide, I showed you one chart here, the yellow color big one. So they can go back there and they can have a reference. So that means the child becomes much independent. The child can also perform self-correction. So please note down these words. So when they ask you in exams, like what are the advantages, what are the benefits of using these multiplication charts, you can always say about it. See, children will start with tangible tools. What are tangible tools? Anything that we use it for counting, like beads, like bead boards. They're tangible. And they're progressing to more of an abstract form, like a blank chart. They don't use any beads. Now they know it by heart. They know it by mind. So that is how children will move to an abstract form. So what thereby, the more you give these control charts for the children, you're promoting self-learning for children. So it's a guided learning for them. And now your child will also use, through repeated usage, what happens? The child will also start noticing what are the patterns in multiplication. So 3 5 times, now they know. 3 5 is 15. 3 6 is 18. 3 7 is 21. 3 8 is 24. They know that patterns. So that's how they strengthen their mental math conceptuals. They strengthen their mental math ability and understanding. So thereby, when we use such charts to support for children, they become very strong in the concepts of multiplication. You can start from a very early age, and these are all the charts that you can actually use it in your classroom. Okay, this is regarding the tools that you actually give to support your multiplication board. Okay, multiplication board is different, multiplication charts are different. Okay, so this ends this material. Now we would move to the next one. So when we are talking about the next material, what is our next one? What is given in our book? Can somebody say the next material? After your multiplication charts, you go to your division board, correct? So division board, multiplication we saw. Now division board is very similar to what we have as a multiplication board. But in multiplication board, you had numbers ranging from 1 to 10. But in division boards, you will have numbers from 1 to 9. And you will only have 81 holes, perforated holes. Why do I give holes? And one more difference you have to notice is in multiplication, those holes on the numbers 1 to 9, on the green header, they are only 9. But in multiplication, it's only 1. So we keep moving the skittle. But here there is a placeholder for how many numbers that we have to divide. So that is for your divisor. Okay, so let's take a look. The color of the beads is green in color here. Now here is where the board looks like. This is how the board looks like. Now if you look at the description of how the board is, how can I say, how can I describe the board? I can tell them, okay, this is a board. It's a unit board. And it has 81 holes in it, wherein I can place my 81 green beads. Okay. And it also has 9 positions or 9 circles where I can keep my skittles. Skittles is nothing but where I put my divisor, not divisor. Yes, my divisor. Okay. So I'm going to be putting my divisors over there. So what you will do for children, you will tell children, okay, I'm going to show you a new material today. You take them along or you bring them to your table. You show the board very patiently to the child. See, look at the board and show them where I can put the beads. Let the child put their tiny little finger into each board. Let them experience how small that space is. Then you show them the numbers, what is printed on the top. Show them, can you read the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tell them that these are the numbers that you're going to keep there. Okay. And tell them how the answers would also be given. Apart from that, you having it, you show them the beads, you show them the skittles. Now, once the child is very much aware of the material, you take them and you talk about the components of the board. That means how much, what are the different ones that I need? First is I need a division board. We spoke about it. It has 9 rows and 9 columns, 81 holes it will have. So whatever I'm placing in that, it is representing my dividend. Now the green bead, which looks like a cup, that is considered to be my skittle and that's my divisor. Okay. So I will have a place to put all my skittles there. And I would use my green beads also so that I would distribute it into the holes. This is a description of what is the material that I would require. Now say suppose I give you a problem, 20 divided by 5. What is 20? Is it my dividend or divisor? 20 is my dividend. Okay. So in my tray, I will have a box, not the tray. In the box, I would have 81 beads. Now, out of those 81 beads, how many beads should I collect? I have to collect only 20 beads. Correct? I have to only collect the dividend. Is everybody getting me? I have to only collect 20 beads. And then I'm dividing among, or I'm distributing among how many? 5. So I take 5 skittles and I put it on top here. Can you see here? I do that distribution. Now I start distributing them one in a row. I don't do vertically, I do horizontally. This is the only difference between your multiplication board and your division board. In multiplication, you go vertical. In division board, you go horizontal. Okay, Lavanya?
Good.
Purni? Everybody
Yeah,
is with
got
me?
it.
Yes,
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
ma'am.
So now you have
Got
your
it, ma'am.
20. You have your 20 beads. You start distributing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
I don't have the 6th divisor. So what do I do? The 6th bead, I come to my second row. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I come to the third row. Correct? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I come to the fourth row. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Do I have any more beads to distribute? I don't have. So that means I'm done with it. Now what's my answer? My answer becomes my quotient. How much did each skittle get? Each skittle. Now see the vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each skittle got 4 beads. So the answer of 20 divided by 5 is 4. Correct? Yes. Now, what I have to do over here is like, what if I am taking a number 27? I'm going to do a common division. Okay. So say suppose my dividend is 27, just like how we did our addition table. What makes a 9? What makes an 18? What makes this? I'm going to divide the common 27 dividend by all of my divisors. 27 divided by 9. Please write this. 27 divided by 9. 27 divided by 8. 27 divided by 7. So your answer sheet has to be in the same format because we're going to write our answers also this side. Okay, so write this in the same way until you have your 27 divided by 1. Now what we do, since my dividend is 27, how many beads I have to collect? 27 beads only, correct? So 27 beads only I'm collecting. So 27 divided by 9, how many skittles I have to collect?
9 skittles.
9 of them. So I start distributing amongst 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then come to the second row, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So what was my answer? 27 by 9 was?
3.
3.
3.
3, ma'am.
So everybody write 27 divided by 9 is equal to 3. Now let's go to the second problem statement. The second problem statement that I have is 27 divided by 8. 27 divided by 8. So take your sheet. Take your sheet. Okay. Did you all take your did you all take your sheet? Wait, let me share. Okay. Fine enough. Okay. So we take our sheet and 27 divided by 8, right? So I collected 27. So how many skittles I would have? 1, 2, 3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will have 8 skittles. Correct? Now let's start to distribute how many of them. I have to distribute how many beads? 27
9.
beads. So I've taken all of that. Now, since I will have to have this distribution, see skittles, I'm marking it red here so that, sorry, so that we will not have that this thing. So let me take a light green. I'm going to divide. Okay. So let's divide 27. Are you ready? So we're going to divide 1. Keep dividing, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,